Hello, my name is Michael Schmitz. I'm a proud Latin American Studies student, and today I am happy to present to you my presentation on the beautiful South American nation of Argentina. First, I will talk about Argentina's colonial history in my presentation. Here, in my actual final presentation, I would have included an image of colonial Argentina. So, Argentina's history begins, like all other Latin American nations, with Spanish colonization after the discovery of the New World. Argentina was discovered by Europeans during a search for a passage to the Pacific Ocean. Spanish presence was not as prevalent in Argentina during colonial times as it was in other Spanish colonies. The city of Buenos Aires was founded in 1536 by Pedro de Mendoza in Rio de la Plata, which was along the Camino Real, which allowed for transportation of mineral wealth from Bolivia to Rio de la Plata. And there I would have included an image of Buenos Aires during colonial times. Throughout the 17th and 18th centuries, the Mapuches, a prominent American Indian group, gradually began conquering Aboriginal populations from La Pampa and Patagonia. The Spaniard made continual progress from the east of their territory. Contact between Spanish settlers and Indians led to the birth of the Gauchos. Spain settled down the Rio de la Plata Viceroyalty in 1776. This territory would later become Argentina. Now I'll discuss Argentina's nation-building efforts, and I will discuss European immigration as being very prevalent to how Argentina developed its economy. So in my final presentation, I would include an image of European immigrants coming to Argentina. Argentina's economic development is one rooted in an emphasis on being like Europe, or more specifically, looking to Europe as the model for how to progress as a nation. The Argentine government succeeded in attracting huge waves of European immigrants through a government policy that was in effect until 1930, which allowed for able-bodied Europeans of all ethnic backgrounds to enter the country. The people of Buenos Aires and the oligarchy, who were mainly rich hacienda owners, were more loyal to Europe than to Argentina. Liberal ideas became the basis for Argentina's government reforms, which emphasized unrestricted immigration, the goal of which was to provide a cheap rural labor force for the nation's agricultural labor force to enable the nation to gestate into a powerful economy. The Argentine Pampas was one of the world's richest agricultural regions. This gave Argentina fantastic potential to become a strong economy in the world. The labor force that was hoped to be attained from European immigration was thought by the Argentine government to be the key to utilizing the Pampas to reach Argentina's potential of becoming a strong agricultural economy. A prominent liberal from the 19th century, Juan Bautista Alberdi, who also did important work on the Argentine Constitution, was very fervent in his pro-European ideals. He wanted to literally populate Argentina not with its native people, but with the civilized races of Europe. These kinds of liberal ideals led Argentina to take action that made it the South American country that attracted the most European immigrants. Now I'll talk about government corruption. Government corruption has been an extremely detrimental problem for Argentina. Throughout Argentina's economic decline, it has become just as famous for the rampant corruption that has afflicted its government in the past few decades as it was for its once strong economy. And There I would have put probably some image pertaining to government corruption in Argentina. And Argentina's notorious and insidious government corruption can be traced back to Juan Domingo Perón, who was elected president democratically in 1946 and took measures to consolidate his power and become a sort of military dictator. And there I would have put an image of Perón. Perón ruled Argentina with an iron fist through his Peronist political machine that has de facto ruled Argentina for the 7 decades since his reign. Perón imposed many ineffective and economically damaging measures, such as nationalizing industries, establishing ineffective state-owned enterprises, imposing Marxist ideas like import substitution policies, and ultimately creating a government monopoly on all exports. Perón also imposed typical measures to oppress opposition like any dictator would, such as jailing political opponents and censoring media that criticized him. So there I would have put an image of newspapers that he censored. There's a famous newspaper that he censored in Argentina, so I would put an image of, for my final presentation, I'd put an image of that newspaper there. According to an annual index of corruption levels published by Transparency International, Argentina ranks a woeful 57th out of 91 countries, worse than countries like Botswana, Namibia, and Peru. The effects of Perón's legacy can be clearly seen as a cause for this rampant state of corruption. Perón caused a decline in the tenure of justices in Argentina's Supreme Court. When Perón first took office in 1946, Supreme Court justices could serve 12-year terms. Since then, 5 of 17 presidents appointed every member of the court during their term. This when it was one of the most successful economies in the world. But its economic downfall in the midst of an ominous storm of corruption is a cautionary tale about how even the most successful countries can fall from their laurels. Argentina's story reminds me of the fall of great empires like the Romans that seemed invincible for so long and took centuries to fall. Argentina is one that should serve as an example to all countries to be wary of corruption and government tyranny, and the nefarious direction they may lead a nation.